Hello everyone, my name is Miss Burns and today I'm going to be teaching you about finding the volumes and areas of shapes. First, the most important thing about finding the volumes and areas of shapes is knowing the formulas for each. So first I want to go over the shapes, areas, and volumes that we're going to be doing today and identifying. So let's get started. We're first going to start with the square. The area of a square is S2. In other words, it could be side times side, which equal the same exact thing. So I'm just gonna put an example by each so it's better understanding. So each side is the same length, so you only need 2 because you're multiplying it by each other. So S times S equals area for a square. Next, I want to move to rectangle. The area of a rectangle equals length times width. You can have a triangle like that, or you can have a triangle like that, because these two sides equal and these two sides equal, vice versa. So, it could be like this, or it could be like this. So length times width, that's going to be your most, your easiest area finding shape, because it's just simple side times side. Same as this, but it could be difficult to know squaring. Then we're going to move on to a triangle. The area of a triangle, this is going to be your most difficult area finding shape because it involves a fraction. So 1/2 times base times height is equal to area of a triangle. You're always going to use the middle of a triangle as your height because these aren't precise as to height. So H, this is going to equal your B. So H times B times 1/2 equals A. Next, we're going to move on to a cube. So a cube's formula is A times A times A, or S times S times S, which is side times side times side, or S3 or A3. They all equal the same thing. So this times this times this. So S, S, S. Whenever you multiply this side by this side by this side, you're going to find the total volume of the shape. Next, we're going to move on to a rectangular prism. Kind of the same concept, but your sides are different lengths. This one, and this one. This one is going to be length times width times height. So here's your length times your width times your height. Pretty simple. So those three multiplied together equals your volume of a rectangular prism. Next, I want to teach this one because in our future lessons we're going to be working on this one. So try my best to draw it. Not really great, but sure. So this is called a triangular prism. This is a 3D shape, so we're looking for volume. In this one, the volume formula is length times width times height divided by 3. The reason it is 3 is because there's 3 sides of a triangle. So length times width times, remember you use the middle of a triangle as your height to be more precise. So when multiplying those three times 3, you find your volume of a triangular prism. I'm gonna keep this paper out, so as we're moving on to each equation in each shape, we can refer back to it. So let's start with a square. Let's say each side of the square equals 6. As we're going to refer back to our formula, it is side times side, or side square. So we're going to use this side and this side to multiply to equal area. So 6 times 6. 6 times 6 equals 36. So the area of the square is 36. Next, we're going to move on to a rectangle. So let's make this side 12, and this side, let's make it 9. So 12 times 9. 12 times 9 is 21. So length times width, I'm sorry, totally wrong. Take that all back. Area is multiplication. So you're gonna do 12 times 9. Each of my students will have a calculator during this lesson because we're multiplying to get the area. So 12 times 9 equals 108, which is the area of that rectangle. Next, we're going to move on to a triangle. So we're going to make the height of this 10, the base of this 15. So we're going to refer back to our formulas, which is 1/2 times our base, 15, times our height, which is 10. Like I said, we're going to have our calculators to make precise numbers. 1/2 times 15 times 10, which leaves us with the volume of the triangle to equal 75. Next, we're going to move on to a cube. So S3, which is side times side times side, because they all equal the same. So let's make the sides equal 7. So 7 times 7 times 7. This is a 3D shape. So 7 times 7 times 7, which would make the volume of this cube 343. Next, we're going to move on to a rectangular prism, which is another simple 3D shape to find. I just want to identify each shape to make sure we know which formula to use for each. So rectangular is length times width times height, or length times width times height. Anyway, so let's make this 5 and 10. And then let's make this one 9. So length 5 times 10 times 9. That leaves us with a volume of 450. Volume. Next, we're going to move on to a triangular prism. Like I said, not the best at drawing this 3D shape, but it will work for what we're doing. So let's make this side. Remember, your height is always off of the middle to be more precise of a height. So we're going to make the height 5. We're going to make the length 7. And we're going to make the width, let's make it 9. Remember, there's 3 sides, so you're always going to be dividing by 3. That number is going to stay the same for finding the volume of the shape always. So 7 times 9 times 5. 7 times 9 times 5 is 315. We're going to move this over because you still have to divide. So 315 divided by 3 leaves us with a volume of 105. I just want to leave that there to make sure you know it's division. Equals 105. So here's the formulas, and here are some examples of how to find the volumes and areas of these simple shapes. Thank you and have a nice day.